Hey there, Facebook Live. It's Ermedine. How are you? I feel like I haven't done a live for a while. I haven't actually. I was off. I ended up not being able to do anything last week. We had a little family emergency, but wow, we're on. I'll talk about that in a minute. But we're on like week, I don't know, 4 of quarantine, or 3 or 5, or I don't know. I feel like I've completely lost track of time and space. I have no idea how long we've been doing this. I do know that it's starting to grate on a lot of people. I think you can see those things on Facebook already, and LinkedIn and Instagram, that people are getting tired of not being able to talk with other people. But what I wanted to talk about was some leadership lessons that I really learned last week. And I have learned them before in my life, but I brought them home last week. So as you know, I often do my lives out here in the woods, where I'm very happy on my farm. And so we had an emergency, an accident that happened. So about, not last Sunday, not Easter Sunday, but the Sunday before, Wayne and I were out here enjoying the beautiful Sunday, and we were cleaning up wood that had fallen down during the winter, which happens every year. And we have a little pond right there, as you can see, and in that pond there were some trees down, and we were getting the trees out. Well, what happened was that we had a tow strap with a clevis. If you know, it's a round a piece of metal that connects 2 tow straps, or two pieces of equipment. Anyway, we were on the last big tree or log and pulling it out, and it wouldn't come. And so he kept yanking on it with the skid loader. And the old tow strap actually busted. And if you have done any kind of work like that, you have a good idea of what I'm about to say. I was standing to the side and right over there, and I can still see it. It's like slow motion in my head. The clevis and the new strap came slingshotting back and hit him right in the face and the chest and the chin. And he was absolutely just like it hit him so hard he couldn't speak. I ran over there, and he was just going like this, and clearly it hit him in the chin, and so he was calm enough to actually lean over with his other hand and shut the skid loader off. But I remember saying to him, just calmly, like, get out of the skid loader. Got him out, put him on the ground. I just said, stay calm, take a few deep breaths, and like, what happened? Like, where are you hurt? I guess my nursing kicked in, and I just was trying to figure out where we were at. Long story short, he kept saying, it hurts my throat, I can't breathe. And of course he was talking, so I knew he could breathe. I didn't quite know what was wrong, but I brought him, we finally got him up and walked him out of the woods. I went and got the car, made sure I had what they needed for the hospital, and drove him to the hospital. It was terrifying, actually. He kept saying his chest hurt, and that he didn't know, and he couldn't hardly talk. But then the real world actually came crashing in, because I brought him to the hospital, and a nurse and a police officer met me at the curb, and I got him out of the car, and he was I'm surprised he didn't pass out. It was so painful. I just know it was so painful. But he's a strong guy. And but at that moment, at the curb, the police officer said, I'm sorry, but you can't come in. That's where we are in this world with this pandemic. And I knew it was coming, but when people say they can't go in, to their family members or to the nursing home or whatever with the people that they love. It's different when it's not your family member. And so I got it and I understand it, but it still was shocking and really, really hard because I didn't know when I was going to see him. And of course, my brain works crazy, and I start thinking all kind of crazy things like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to see him. I don't know what's wrong with him. He's going to go in the hospital. What if he gets an infection? What if somebody else in there has an infection with COVID-19 and he gets that and he gets sick? And oh Lord, it just went crazy. I had a good cry out in the parking lot, called my sister and my daughter and Wayne's sister. And by the time I got done talking with those three people, I had calmed down. I also came home, and by the wonderful neighbors that we have came over and made sure that we were doing a little burning, that the fires were out, that the equipment was all put away, and everybody just was great. But you know what? Then they had to go home because guess what? We were supposed to be social distancing with this pandemic. So there I sat, not having any idea what was going on with Wayne. Nobody could be with me. My sister called me back and she's like, I'm so sorry. I feel like I should be there. And I said, you can't. And so I sat there and gathered myself and was able to finally call Wayne's boys who live in Wisconsin. And they were amazing. They were amazing and calm and scared, but they're grown men and they were just wonderful. And the three of us had a really rough, long night. There was no point in them driving over from Wisconsin to see him because they couldn't get in the hospital either. And it was about midnight when the doctor finally called me, and they had put Wayne on a ventilator. And of course, when you hear ventilator, right away you go, oh, like, oh my gosh, how bad is it? How really bad is it? And he said, well, they couldn't stop the bleeding in his mouth, and he was in so much pain, and they couldn't get any CAT scan, and they couldn't figure out what his injuries were, and that they would call me. Long story, about an hour, he called me back and said that they were transferring him to the larger hospital down in St. Cloud, and that that I didn't have to worry, because, you know, I started to cry, and the doctor said, don't worry, Ermedine, he's unconscious and he's in no pain, he's comfortable. And so then of course that did make me feel better. But so by 1 o'clock in the morning I tried to get some sleep, but pretty much didn't sleep all night long, and neither did his boys. His mother, who's 86 years old, texts me at midnight, and I call her and finally explain to her that he was okay and he wasn't in any pain. But the next day, finally got the doctor. They're going to go in and take surgery. He had a broken jaw, some broken ribs, and a lot of less injuries than we actually thought, honestly. It could have been so much worse. It could have hit him in the doctor said an inch or two up, in any direction, we'd be having a whole different conversation. And so I didn't do any social posting last week. I didn't do my blog. I didn't do a live. I didn't work. I didn't do anything, and we were very isolated. I was able to bring him home. I wanted to bring him home as soon as possible to get him out of the hospital because I didn't want him to be there with COVID-19 patients. And so we brought him home really fast, and he's an amazing healer, and he's doing great. His jaw's wired shut for 2 months, so he can't holler at me or anything. He's really doing well, and just healing, and we're learning a different world. First of all, we're home here together all the time, which is great, and I'm glad I can take care of him. But also, we're learning how to feed him different things because he can only have pureed food. But as a leadership speaker, trainer, and coach, I just wanted to really talk about some of the things that I learned or that came in handy. At my age, I've been through a few things, and so it's fun. I love being a coach to emerging leaders and young people that are learning how to do things and manage other people and just manage crises and things like that. But I can tell you a few lessons that were just reintroduced to me in a more personal way this week. First of all, I hope you never have a crisis within a crisis, because that's what we had. We had a crisis last week while the world is in another crisis. But if you do, or if you have any kind of crisis, just remember a few things, a couple lessons that I want to teach. And one is, number one, just be grateful. You know, I get teary thinking about what could have happened, and it didn't, because he's healthy and he's going to be fine. But for all of us who have first world problems, not third world, but first world problems, just remember social distancing is crappy, and we don't like it, and we don't like a lot of things. And I know that people are having money troubles. I get that. But you know what really didn't matter when I wasn't sure if he was going to live or die? Social distancing or money or bills or any of that didn't matter. And so no matter what crisis happens, just try to remember the things in your life that you can be grateful for. There's many studies out there that say people who are grateful are happier. People who are grateful are more successful. People who are grateful are able to actually be more resilient. And so my first lesson is, just always be grateful, right? Another lesson is stay in the midst of a crisis. Stay calm. Freaking out has never helped anybody. Never. And so I was grateful. I think some of my military training as well as my nursing kept me calm. I made sure he got out of the skid loader. I made sure that I said, stay calm, take some deep breaths, and tell me where it hurts. And, Wayne was really calm too. And even though he couldn't talk very well, he stayed calm. And we calmly walked out of the woods. We calmly got into the car. We calmly talked on the way and prayed, and that's what we did. So if I would have freaked out, just think how he would have felt. So when a leader whether it's you're leading your children or, somebody else in your family or people at work, the best thing for you to do is stay calm. All they want to know is that everything's going to be all right, that you're going to be there. Through the good and the bad and the ugly, that you're going to be there. Leaders need to stay calm, and even if they don't think in their head or their heart, like, oh my gosh, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work out. You don't tell your people that, right? You make them think that it's all going to work out, and if it's not, you'll be there to help fix it. So stay calm. That's a really important thing. Another really huge thing with a leader is to think ahead and make a plan. Leaders are the ones that see before others see. They see further than others see, and they can feel things before others feel them. And so, I again, applaud Wayne. He stayed calm, and when he waited for me to go get the car, oh Lord, I couldn't find the keys. The other vehicle was locked. 5 days later, when he got home, he's telling me where the keys were. I found out they were in his pants in the four-wheeler. Anyway, what a doof. But that was funny. We were laughing about that after it was all said and done. I couldn't find keys, and he was sitting there with blood coming out of him, wondering where I was and why it was taking me so long to get to him. But think ahead. And so when I was getting ready to take him, I was thinking about what the hospital would need. They would need his, they would need his health card and they would need his ID. And we didn't have an advance directive. We had them sitting on the counter, had not filled them out. But I'll tell you what, they're filled out now. I would have brought that, but I made sure that, we had some things. And on the way, I called the hospital so that they were prepared for him when he got there. But so as a leader, as somebody's in charge, your job is really to prepare the way for other people and figure out what's coming next and let them know what's coming next. If they don't know what's coming next, anybody that's ever led anybody, that your employees or your staff, if they don't know what's coming, they'll make it up. And good Lord, they come up with some crazy things that are happening. So make sure that you make a plan and let them know what's going on. One of the most important things, trust is the foundation of leadership. And you have to build and create and maintain trust before a crisis occurs. If you try to maintain or build trust when a crisis occurs, it's too late. So at the time, and this is just me and Wayne out here on this little ranch at the time of this crisis, but he trusted. I told him to stay calm. I told him I would take care of him. I told him, tell me where you hurt. We'll figure this out. And he trusted me, and I trusted him to trust me. And so the great thing is that when you have trust with your employees or your kids or your family, whoever it is that you're working with, during a crisis, they'll just listen. They'll just listen, and they'll do what you need them to do. And they'll, when the yogurt hits the fan, they'll be there. And so that's another lesson. And the last lesson I want to really talk about is, not everything's going to go your way. Not even when you're the leader. I would have not preferred to leave him at the curb, but I had to, and that wasn't my way. If I had stood there and had a fit and, made a big commotion and screamed and hollered that I couldn't go in the hospital with him, how would that have been for Wayne, and how would that have felt for anybody else? The thing is that there's a policeman there for a reason. Somebody must have been like that. And leaders can't, we just have to understand that not everything goes our way, right? And it's okay. Things are going to work out just fine. And I guess the last lesson is you are stronger than you think. Everyone is stronger than you think. I don't think any of us thought we could do what we're doing now through this pandemic, but we are. And at least in Minnesota, we're doing an A+ job, is what I understand. And I don't think I would have thought that I would be able to make it through, or Wayne thought what he went through last week, and come out the way that we feel this week. I mean, we are just so blessed and grateful. And, you are too. You are stronger than you think you are. Just when you think that you can't do something and, a curveball gets thrown your way, you'll do it too. You'll step up to whatever it is that it needs to happen, because that's the leader that you are. And we're all leaders. If you've heard me talk ever, you know that everybody is a leader. Everybody's a leader, because leadership is influence, nothing more and nothing less. And you influence people every day, all day long. So that was a long story to why I was kind of out of the social world last week and not working and really not in communications with many people. I do thank everybody that knew about it. Wayne gave me permission to talk about it today. He wasn't ready for me to talk about it any time before today. So, life is good. God is good. And I'm grateful for the beautiful sunshine. And I hope everybody is staying healthy and safe in this pandemic. And we just got to continue doing the best we can, right? And know that whatever is supposed to happen is what will happen. All right. So you take care, and have a great Thursday, and stay safe and healthy. Have a good one. Bye for now.